Jai Sri Ram, friends. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome, Vinay Ji. Thank you for joining Bharat Marg, friends. Today, very important discussion. We will be discussing about the India resumes visas for Canadians worldwide. Okay, this is after getting assurance from the government and protection for the Canadian consulate general and the employees over there from the terrorists of Canada. So the security assurance, and also they have approved it to make sure it is up to the par for the people to work, and they are partially they have resumed the visa services. But we want to know, Vinay Ji is today with us. We have all the questions we'll ask Vinay Ji regarding the visa. Our questions are very simple, folks. That is, do I qualify? If I want to go to India, I am a Canadian citizen. Do I qualify? Who benefits from it? Okay, and more. We will dive into it and answer any questions. If you have any question, also you can post it. But before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can. And also, friends, please make sure to subscribe the channel if you didn't already, and also press the notification bell to make sure you do get notified as we go live with the title, so that you can join us in the conversation, ask any question, give your feedback, and become the part of the conversation. And also, we send out one dharmic message every day regarding Sanatan Dharma. And now you can subscribe for it by sending a WhatsApp to +16479644790, and you and your family can immensely benefit from that. No question about it. And it comes in multiple languages. You can say what is your name, where you are from, and what language you want the message to come in, and we will support you that way. Okay, Vinay Ji, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Welcome. So this is the thing. Okay, so it's a great news. After verifying the security, a lot of security concerns for the Indian government regarding, we have done a lot of videos, you have done a lot of videos on it, regarding the security scare by the Canadian terrorists to the employees of Indian consulate. Now India resumes visa service for Canadians after getting security assurance and also verifying all the things are okay, partially being open. Now please say us, now if I want to go to Canada, if I am a Canadian citizen, I want to go to Canada, now am I qualified to go? Will I get a visa?
So let me refer you to a document published by the Ministry of Home Affairs in Government of India.
Mm-hmm.
The document is a part of the visa granting process. It's the annexure 010222018.
You can just send it in the private chat, probably the link. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Annexure 3 of 00218. I'll send it to you right now.
Okay, so no problem.
Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. All right. Mm-hmm. So basically, if you go through that, you'll be surprised to note that there are over 20 different visas that Indian government can grant. Okay, so you have to apply under a particular category. All right. Now, the government of India, just a couple of days ago, actually yesterday, October 26, 2023, they opened up 4 types of visa for Canadian citizens. Okay. All the Canadians, Indian Canadians who are living here were so excited that they thought that that's it. Indian government is so nice, and Canada is also so nice. Maybe they've had some collaboration or whatever. But unfortunately, I have some bad news for you guys. Okay. The visa that the government of India has opened up, out of the 20 different types of visas, okay, they opened up only 4 visa categories. Okay. So
it says page could not be found. Where do I go for that, Vinay Ji?
Oh, page could not be found. Okay.
Okay,
You
no
you
problem. We can.
you just have to go to Ministry of External. Ministry of Home Affairs. So maybe I will
Yeah,
just
Department of Home Affairs. I am in.
yeah, and mha.gov.in.
Uh huh.
Okay,
No, I am there
and
right now.
you're there.
Yeah,
Are you
you
in
are
the?
seeing it on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go to that annexure. I told you what the annexure is, right?
Okay, no problem. Maybe you can resend it again. Probably there is a copy paste error or something. Yeah, please continue. No problem.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just trying to paste it again here. See if you can open this.
Okay.
All right. So so basically, only four categories have are available are for Canadian citizens.
Uh huh.
Okay, and the four categories are number one. Let me just read it to you. First of all, let me go through the 20 visas that are available. Number one,
Uh
e
huh.
visa. Two, visa and arrival, transit visa, tourist visa, medical visa, employment visa, project visa, business visa, student and research visa, intern visa, entry visa, conference visa, sports visa, mountaineering visa, journalist visa, film visa, missionary visa, other categories, foreigners of Indian origin, landing permit. Okay, these are the number of visas that are available. Out of these, the four that are opened up
Hmm.
are medical visa. What is a medical visa? A medical visa is granted to a foreigner whose sole purpose is to seek medical treatment in established, recognized, specialized hospitals or treatment centers in India. Number one.
Hmm.
Business visa. What is a business visa? Foreign nationals who wish to visit India to establish an industry or a business venture or to explore possibilities or to do some trading with an Indian company, that is a business visa. What is an entry visa? An entry visa is granted to a foreigner in the following cases. Number one, a PIO. PIO is a person of Indian origin.
Hmm.
It does not apply to OCI because OCI card holders do not need a visa. Okay. And then spouses and children of an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. That is PIO.
Hmm.
Okay. Or OCI card holders. So some of them, the husband may be OCI card holder, and
Hmm.
the spouse can get a an entry visa. Okay, so that is available. And then the
Hmm.
last one is conference visa. A conference visa is granted to a foreigner whose sole objective of visiting India is to attend a conference or seminar or workshop being held in India, like yoga conference or something like that.
Hmm.
Okay. The main ones that the Indian government has left out is e-visa. Visa on arrival is only for Japanese citizens, so that is really not applicable to Canadians. Transit visa, tourist visa, which is the biggest one. Okay, most people go to India on tourist visa because when they're visiting their family, friends, or whatever, right? They take a tourist visa and go there. So that is still not opened
Tourist
up.
visa is different from visitor visa, is it?
No, e-visa and e-visa is different. Yeah, e-visa is kind of called visitor visa, and tourist visa is like it's kind of similar, but there's a little bit of a subtlety there. Okay, and then there are people, people who want to go and study there, a student visa, research visa. So those still have not opened up. Okay.
Hmm.
So we got to be extremely careful when we publish articles and are put these articles in the news, and news media says, oh yeah, India has opened up, but you got to be very clear about what has
But for
opened
all
up.
emergency purposes, it is. What is the entry visa? Can a general family, if somebody's parents are sick, if they had to go to wedding, they have family back home, so can they use the entry visa to go there? And also, it says on emergency visa processing will be available on emergencies. What
That
does
is
that mean?
medical visa.
Oh, that's a medical
Okay.
visa. Okay. Not
medical
like
visa.
if
So some,
somebody's parents or family member back home is in a emergency health situation or anything, they cannot go.
no, they cannot
Okay.
go. Even bereavement is not allowed. Okay.
What is that?
So bereavement, like somebody's family, somebody passed away or whatever, right? So you can't go with that bereavement
Hmm.
visa. So there's nothing called as a bereavement visa. So you still have to take either an e visa or a tourist visa. So what is entry visa? That's a good question actually. So entry visa is uh, actually, let me just read it out for you. Entry visa is only granted to foreigners in the following cases: somebody who holds a PIO card, person of Indian origin, not an OCI card, a PIO card. So they are granted entry visa. All right.
So PIO is not a visa by itself. They cannot go with the PIO. They still
No,
need
no,
a
no,
visa.
no. They still need a visa. Okay.
Oh, really? I thought PIO
Yeah.
means they can go for 20 years like that. No.
No. So that is you still need a visa stamp on that as a PIO. All right.
Hmm.
And then the second one is spouse and children of an Indian citizen or PIO. So somebody, let's say, I hold an OCI card, or I hold a PIO card, or I'm an Indian citizen. All right. So my wife or my children may have taken Canadian citizenship. Now they are allowed to travel with me if I'm going. Okay. If I'm not going,
Okay.
then no, entry visa is not allowed. So I have to be accompanying them, then they will be given entry visa. So those
Hmm.
are the only two categories under that. So did you understand
So,
that?
also I was going through like if somebody is going for medical emergency, the person who accompanies them also goes entry visa or what?
Yes,
Like
you can actually, a medical visa will be granted for a person who is actually sick, who is going to India for treatment, and one person who is accompanying that person. Okay,
if
will be
they
granted.
also get a medical visa or they get a entry visa in that case.
They will be given like I believe it's a medical visa. That's basically what it is, because both will come under the same category.
Because I was just going through, it said that if somebody is going for business visa,
Yeah,
you know you can check it out basically. In the meantime, if somebody is going in a business visa or medical visa, the person who is accompanying them will
right.
go in entry visa.
No, entry visa is only granted to people of PIO, person of Indian origin. Okay, and it's normally given for a period of 5 years with multiple entry facility, and then spouse and children who are accompanying this PIO. So these
Hmm.
are the only two categories under entry visa. So you got to be very clear about the distinction there.
So I also see there are reporting on if there is a emergency situation, you can apply for a visa by talking to the consulate. Is that still a provision there, or how is it?
Well, there will be
On
some
humanitarian
exceptions.
ground, they still can open up, or how is it?
Yeah, there will be some exceptions made on humanitarian grounds, let's say that way. I mean, like, they have not explicitly said that bereavement visa, for example, is allowed. Okay. There's no such thing called as bereavement visa, but somebody who is bereaving, actually a family member passed away in India, and these people have to go to India for that, then they will be granted a visa on humanitarian grounds, and it'll be a very restricted visa. It'll probably be for 5 days or 10 days, very limited duration, and so you'll have to go there, and you can do that, but you'll have to obviously get into the line, and then get an entry into BLS is they're granting visas here, and with under certain exceptions, you can go directly to the consulate. But those exceptions are extremely strict, especially in Canada, especially given the security situation, especially given the that the Khalistanis have threatened to assassinate Indian consulates and Indian ambassador. So the High Commissioner, sorry. So that's
And
the reason.
also other employees, we want them to be safe. That's no question
Exactly.
about
So that is the reason
it.
they're not allowing every person to go into the consulate. So regardless, you still have to go to BLS, which is the agency that is actually handling visas for the government of India. So you'll
At
have
this
to go
time.
and stand. Yeah,
Say
that is
normally we used to go, like for example, if you are in Brampton, you go to the satellite office in Brampton or in Toronto or in whatever, wherever the visa office is close by. But now these offices are not open for public. You have to go through the VLS. Is that right?
correct. Yes, exactly. So
Because they use
BLS,
that service back in for Canadian embassies use it in Bharat.
yeah,
I know
BLS
that.
has always been the place for getting your visas, for getting your OCI cards. Everything is handled by BLS. Okay, in certain exceptional cases, you could go directly to the consulate, and like I said, under humanitarian grounds, they may accept your application.
Wow. Now, if somebody is going for see, if somebody's wedding is fixed there, or spouse is stuck there, then what does it happen? How does it
I
work?
would say that either get married to someone else here in Canada. You can always fall in love with somebody else here, and or postpone your marriage.
Oh my God.
That's not an
So
emergency.
okay, so but Canada is giving all kind of visa, is that right? Back for
Canada is
Indians.
giving all kinds of visas, but the problem is you got to keep in mind that they have officially shut down 3 offices. Okay, shut down meaning basically not shut down, but basically they're not granting any visas through those 3 offices, which was Bangalore, one in Punjab,
Chandigarh.
Chandigarh, and the other one was in Mumbai. So
Uh-huh.
the only visa granting authority now is through Delhi, and New Delhi is obviously swamped, basically. And I mean, you got to see some of the lineups in the pictures of these lineups in Delhi, the Canadian High Commission, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, people are like, you were talking about we were talking about the amount of lineups here, because when the visa was actually restricted, or was closed, visa services were closed in Canada for to go to India. People were standing in the lineup just to get in their OCI cards or whatever, right? But it's even worse in India actually.
So now see, let us assume a Canadian citizen who is basically from Indian origin and not able to get a visa because of the following above situations you discussed about. How long it takes if they apply for a OCI or a PIO?
OCI would normally take about 12 weeks. Okay, normally it takes about 12 weeks to get your OCI card. In the past, I remember when I had applied for OCI, it had taken me almost 1 year. Okay, I'm talking this is many years ago, and but then the processing time has sped up and things were going pretty well, and so the best case scenario, you'll get your OCI in used to get your OCI in 12 weeks, in 12 to 16 weeks, I should say. But now, apparently, the OCI, because of the lineups and because of the restriction of only the visas, and because the government has only opened up 4 categories of visa, and people are still cannot go on to visit their parents, or just to have a like a family vacation or something in India. They still can't do that unless you have an OCI card. So, given those issues, many people are applying for OCIs, assuming that they'll get the OCI pretty soon. But the OCI now will take at least anywhere from 9 months to 12 months, or even longer.
And they have increased the security check also. Many OCIs are getting cancelled also.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Because what has happened is now the Canadian terrorists who live here, in Canada who want to go to India to cause all kinds of tension and stuff like that. Especially with the 2024 federal elections coming up in India, the Khalistanis, the Canadian terrorists, they're all getting up to go to India and cause some kind of a turmoil there. So that's the reason they're applying for OCIs, because now many of their OCI people who hold OCIs, their OCIs are being cancelled. India has the authority to do that, and so people are now applying for OCIs under different names, or maybe people who didn't have OCI, who are not under the radar, are applying for OCIs. But India is actually taking it extremely seriously, and the scrutiny is actually taking much longer. So it goes to RAW, it goes to CBI, it goes to see what kind of criminal cases these guys have, and people may be asked even for fingerprints and stuff like that, from what I've been told. Because initially, I mean, earlier nobody OCI did not require fingerprints, but now they may ask you for fingerprints. They may ask you for iris scan and things like that, just to make sure that India is doing the right thing.
Absolutely, and especially if you are from the troubled regions, then
Exactly,
you
including
can have
Canada.
profile there.
Canada is on the top list, top of the list,
No, I
actually.
mean, so I mean, if you are visiting the troubled regions of Bharat, you know what I mean. Yeah, so,
There's no trouble
if
region in Bharat. Everything is fine in Bharat.
yeah, I
This is
mean to
all a
say,
narrative by the. This is all narrative by the journalists, ABC, CNN. They say that, oh, in certain parts of India there's tension, there's Indian Hindu Muslim issues, Hindu Punjabi issues. So Hindus have become the major perpetrators of all of this. So they are, instead of they becoming the victims, they are becoming the perpetrators, unfortunately. So
absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you suggest for somebody? My final question to you: somebody here, and uh, who is a Canadian citizen who wants to visit back home. Okay, what are all the any choice for them at all, or how long this may take for
well,
them?
there are a few options that I can suggest is, if you have a company and if you're doing any business in India, I'm not saying do it illegally or whatever, because I mean, like, India is extremely cautious about people coming into India, because, like, there are people who in Canada, you can open a company with $75 and you can say, oh, I have a business now, I can take a business visa and go to India, right? Your business visa is open up. So no, unless you have an authentic reason, and you have to be doing business with a registered, established organization there, not with some guy who is living down the street in Punjab and selling coconuts or whatever. No, you can't do that. So you got to be extremely cautious about that. Your business also should have been established for a number of years. So don't try to take the backdoor method. The Indian government is going to be opening up the tourist visas and all that, hopefully soon, if Canadian government cooperates and provides the additional security that they need for the Indian consulates here. Okay, that's number one. Number two, apply for an OCI card. I mean, like, that's the best case. Like, you may get it in like 9 months, 12 months, whatever. Postpone your travel. So don't try to use that backdoor method.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
even
saying.
if you don't have an emergency, just apply it now. You know,
Yeah,
just in
apply
case.
for an OCI card. I mean, like, that's the best
If you
thing.
have
Like,
roots in Bharat, you must
yeah,
do it now.
exactly. Unless you have an emergency, like if you got to go on a medical visa, you can apply for that. You want to go on a business visa, you can apply for that. If you have a conference you're attending, but keep in mind, okay, this is another thing that you got to keep in mind, that there are only a few recognized institutions that they will allow you to go for a yoga conference or whatever, and the list is in that annexure that I sent you. So there are very clearly they have stated how many institutions are imparting training. There are about 40 institutions across India that are imparting yoga training, and there are the yoga Vedic culture. There are 3 institutions across India, and then there are institutions where missions. I mean, like, that are training in yoga and Vedic culture, and those are about 29. So in total, 29 plus 3 plus 40. So you got about 69, 72 institutions. So if you're going to any of these 72 institutions, then you're good. Otherwise, no, you won't get the conference visa. So you got to be extremely careful about what you apply for and what you're doing. So your justification in your application is extremely important.
Absolutely. This is the link what Vinay ji was talking about. For whatever reason, it's not loading for me, guys. Probably you can write it down and try it by yourself, and hopefully it will open for you to go through. But I have some final words. Vinay ji shared everything. I have some final words, friends. You know what? Uh, just for the sake of getting one free langar somewhere, don't go and stand in the anti-national, anti-Hindu, anti-Bharat agendas. Okay, if you have any idea of going to Bharat, okay, forget it. You will be blacklisted. You are not going. Okay, and don't put yourself in trouble. Okay, this is my friendly recommendation for you. Okay, if you have any, if you are not going, if you are going elsewhere, if you are going to plan to live in Timbuktu or Khalistan or wherever, then it is okay. In Khalistan in Canada, I mean. Okay, so then it is okay. Otherwise, don't do it. And also, friends, like Vinay ji said, don't give any false affidavit. Okay, and once you get blacklisted, it will be very, very difficult for you to get a visa, and you will put yourself in jeopardy in going back to Bharat ever. So please, friends, don't do the shortcut, crooked ways, etc., and do right. And the best thing is apply for OCI or PIO, or
People have to understand that this is the new India. It's not the India that was existed previously, because a lot of people who have come to Canada, US, Europe, wherever they've gone and settled down, right, they live in a time warp. So you know what is a time warp? Time warp is basically, let's say a person left in 1971 India. So he lives in that era. He thinks that India is still in the 1971 era, because he has hardly gone there to visit. Even if he goes there, he goes there for a couple of weeks or 3 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever, right? But so they live in that thought process that India is still in 1971. So if somebody left in 2001, they still think India is stuck in the 2001. But India has progressed a lot. So do not assume that India is the old India. It's the new India. And under the BJP government, things are extremely strict.
And you be clean. Don't put yourself and your family in a jeopardy of getting rejected with the visa by crooked short term beneficial things, and also taking part in any anti Bharat things and all. Understand, visa is not your right, it's a privilege. Okay,
100%.
never forget it, folks. It's a privilege for you. If you are coming to my home, I welcome you. It's a privilege for you, not your right. Same thing. Okay, keep it in mind. Hope you will do the right thing. Thank you, Vinay ji, for joining us and absolutely sharing your knowledge. That means a lot for beneficial for people. If you have any more questions also, friend, please do put it in the comment area, and we will love to get it answered for you. Vinay ji will answer it also. Looking forward to see you very shortly in the next video. Till then, Jai Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Vinay ji.